I know this is gonna make me sound old, but like I was looking at my YouTube channel social blade rating. Apparently it's 18,000. I'm quite pleased with that because apparently like I only have 500 subs, but 18,000. I thought it'd be a lot lower. Anyways, I then looked at the main YouTube channels. I came across the kids ones because I found this video and I was just looking at it and like a lot of the biggest channels on YouTube are the kids channels, and I get it. You can just put your kid in front of the TV, in front of the computer, let them watch it, makes them it's you're basically drugging them, but it can be so beneficial, and I get how stressed out parents are. I see my brother, I see his wife, I see them raising their kids. I go over and I play with my nieces a lot. I spend time with them, and I've been on car rides, I've been camping with them. It's a lot of work taking care of young kids, and sometimes you just need like 10 minutes, an hour to clean up the kitchen. I mean, sometimes they make a mess, sometimes they puke up places, and you just need them to not be trying to like constantly be in the same area you are where you're cleaning up the mess. But I'm just like, I have this thing in my head. I'm like, kids TV when I was a kid was like Curious George, which again my parents never really allowed me to watch too much of, maybe an hour on the weekends, but it was
wins the master.
nicely animated.
This game tests each team's response to a surprise nighttime emergency. When the alarm sounds, each team must put on their gear, attach their hose to their truck, and run it all the way to the other side of that hill and
you come across that. And I get that that's still TV, but I'm just thinking like the rise of ADHD, how much of this is just the inability of kids to be present, because in order to keep one upping the channels and find one that the kids are going to watch and that's going to make them fully docile enough, you have to like hyper stimulate them till this is like the only thing in their environment that they actually want to look at. So in comparison, we have this video which was released a year ago, and yeah.
Brush your teeth every day.
That's even the worst one. They re-uploaded it into I'll find it. Give me a second. Okay, so this is the re-uploaded one, and I mean, if looking at this doesn't like induce hyperstimulation in the head from all the cuts and the bright colors, I mean, look at the contrast in those colors. It's just like for a kid, they're like so many. It's just overwhelming.
Brush your teeth. Clap, clap, cha, cha, cha. Brush your teeth. I don't like it. No, no, no. I like candy. Nom, 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 nom. Brush.
Oh my god. Future generations are gonna be fudge. I'm trying not to swear, so effed. They're gonna be effed. They're so effed. It just seems like I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it seems like how well can we like make kids docile at a young age and then make it so they can't focus on anything, and then we kind of put them into school and we send them through all of school, and then we put them into college and then we put them into jobs, and we just make them mindless slaves that can do the work and keep pushing out stuff. Because for a large part, the people most affected by this YouTube thing, by TV, the kids that are going to be worse off are the ones from families who can't afford to have a parent home to watch the kid, can't afford to have a babysitter over, can't afford the extra help. And it's expensive. It's like, it's really expensive. I've talked to my brother about his raising kids and stuff. But this YouTube is like a third. It's like a babysitter that's always there. Like it's just it can be so helpful sometimes to put on Miss Rachel or I don't know Little Bear or something. Those are the two my nieces sometimes get to watch, but it's like so expensive to get a babysitter. You have to do schedules. YouTube's basically babysitter. If you put your kid in front of this thing, they're gonna just go. They're just gonna watch it. But it's like how good of a slave can we create? Your kid's never gonna be able to be present, never be able to be in the moment. They're gonna be constantly craving dopamine, seeking out new stimulation. You're gonna like you're gonna mess with the dopamine receptors in the brain. Again, not a doctor, but this is my personal findings. This is what I found to be true. And you can even tell by watching a kid watch these videos. They're so entranced by it. It's like they're under a spell. They're just like looking at it. It's like scary. And again, I've never seen a kid watch these, but I've seen a kid watch even Miss Rachel stuff and little bit like you put a kid in front of TV, no matter what it is, they just like look at it like it's the only thing in the world, and everything else zones out. And it's fascinating to see that. But then afterwards, when you turn the TV off, they will throw fits. And with TV going from Curious George, I hope this plays because my Wi-Fi is awful.
Oh, yeah, we are. Okay. Night.
Yeah, even that. I mean, the colors are decently bright. We have some decent transitions there. It's more stimulating than reality. And then we go to like Nastia. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyone who spent like 5 minutes studying YouTube Shorts and how to make more engaging content and content that does better on Shorts will understand just how this clicks every single little box on that. The quick transition, the bright colors, the sound effects. Like, look at those transitions. Each one is very stimulating with the colors. It's just, oh my, it's, I don't know what I wanted to accomplish with this video because it's like, there is so much benefit to being able to have access to like sometimes you just need the extra help that TV can give you when raising a kid, and in the sense of putting them down and having them watch it for a little bit so that you can do something that needs to get done because they will just throw fits and cry and some like you just need to make sacrifices sometimes. But I just want people to kind of be more conscious of what they're allowing their kids to watch. I mean, this is on YouTube for kids. If I was YouTube, I would never allow kids to watch this stuff. It's far too overstimulating. I mean, put on like even movies. A movie is far better than this. Frozen, some of the Disney stuff, because that has a story plot that the child has to follow. And over time, they have to pay attention to the story to be able to follow what's happening. Yes, it still has the transitions and it has some music and singing, but it is like magnitudes less stimulating than this on the brain. And I mean, Little Bear is a cartoon that's pretty old. Curious George, just put on some older stuff. Put on music if you can. I mean, if you can, just don't have them watch TV. But just when they do watch TV, when they do watch YouTube, when you do need that little bit of extra help, if you are a parent, please understand there are levels to this. There are levels of stimulation you're allowing your kid to climatize to, get used to, and this stuff right here is going to give them ADHD. It's going to mess with their dopamine receptors, and they're going to have trouble concentrating on the moment, becoming present in their lives, and actually thinking for themselves later on, because they'll always be chasing that little dopamine spike. And school doesn't help. School's not going to help your kid become able to think by themselves. All school does is conform you to the way they want you to think. In college, even as an engineer, you're trained to be an employee. You're trained to, this is how you do better for your employer. This is what you do when your boss tells you to do this. They're literally conditioning you to, and I don't even know if they're conscious to it, because that's how they were conditioned. They're like, well, I'm an employee and I want to make sure they can be good employees. I mean, no one ever teaches you how to think for yourself, how to work for yourself, how to prioritize for yourself. You have to teach yourself that. And oh my god, I just saw this. I wanted to make a video talking about it. I'm like, this stuff is gonna literally rot their brains out. And the simple fact that if you look at the top channels for kids, 181 billion views, 62 billion views. I mean, Cocomelon's a little better. It's still very stimulating with the colors. Try to find something that doesn't have as bright contrast in the colors and is a little bit more muted. I mean, look at that. That's a little muted. They could have made this solid. That's a little bit more muted. A little bit more muted. This one's had a filter applied to it. I mean, you look at the hairs. Oh, man. I don't know what comes after Gen Z, but they pretty much, you can be, a large part of them are going to be effed. And if you're a parent watching this, guess what? There is going to be a huge, 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 huge benefit you can give your kid. If your kid, if you can keep them away from this stuff and have them focused a little bit better, they're going to do so much better than everyone else that is being raised up in the same generation. If you can help them be a little bit better, help them be a little bit more focused, help them be a little less dependent on technology and a little less addicted to it. I mean, they still need to know how to use it, because technology is the future, and if you don't know how to use a computer properly, if you don't know how to code, if you don't know how to use AI, you're going to be left behind. But if your kid isn't addicted to using it, it can actually step away and enjoy their life, you're going to set them up on such a better path and trajectory, and compared to everyone else who's like on a crashing down course. Like, even if you can somewhat stay level, keep them at where you're at, like, or raise them up a little bit, or even just not have them tank as fast, your kids are going to be like miles apart from everyone else. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video. I see this and I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, it's literally like crack for their little brains. And yeah, I don't want people to shut me out and be like, well, this is such a useful tool. Like, having my kids be able to watch this, it helps me so much. I get that. Like, I get how useful being able to put your kids and have, like, give them a phone or give them an iPad or put them in front of the TV can be sometimes, because there's just some stuff that needs to get done and they will stop you from doing it. Raising kids is a huge pain in the butt. And I get that. Like, I don't want to diminish people and be like, shame on you for allowing your kids to watch TV. No, I'm just saying there's levels of what you can allow them to watch. Like, be conscious to what you're allowing them to take in and examine it. Like, see what channels they are watching. Just because you might have YouTube and you have it set to YouTube Kids, like, there's levels to this stuff. Have them watch nature documentaries. Go to local bookstores and find picture books. Give me a second. I'm going to find my favorite book from a child. Okay, this isn't the exact book from my childhood, but it's one of them. I used to read. And it just has page after page of these detailed animal drawings. And I would look at it and just study the animals. And I use that to, I just developed a love of nature through doing that. They have Lego books. I mean, you can go on eBay, you can buy these books for stupid cheap because, yeah, unless your kid's like 7 to 8, they're gonna and treat them properly. Like, young kids will destroy the books, but you can buy them for stupid cheap, and you can allow them to flip through them, and it just depends how young you start. If you start off and you give them this stuff and you have them watching this at a young age, and then you try to give them a book, they're gonna be like, this doesn't give me the same level of stimulation. They're gonna get bored. They're not gonna want to look at it. But if you start off and you give them books when just to look at the pictures, yeah, they're gonna tear them up. They're gonna destroy them sometimes. But if you do that, they're gonna be much better off.